Welcome to the Continued Spotlight on Education presented by Neosho County Community College. I'm your host, Huntyr Schwegman, and I'd like to thank you for tuning in today as we put a spotlight on the news, upcoming events, and academic programs at NCCC. In today's episode, we will be highlighting the welding program here at Neosho County Community College, as well as giving a recap on the 15th annual Stick Welding Invitational that was held at the Mitchell Career and Technology Center on April 17th. And we're joined first by one of the instructors in the program here at the Mitchell Career and Technology Center in Chanute. We're joined now by Johnnie Keil. Johnnie, how's it going today?
Going good today. Glad you had me here to talk to us and help promote our programs.
So Johnnie, just to give our viewers a little bit of background on who you are, just tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what your background in welding is, things like that.
I'm Johnnie Keil. I've been welding probably since I was 17. I actually went through a program just like what I teach. In 2006, I got into the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Union Local 441 and worked on the road as a pipe fitter and a pipe welder for about 13 years before I started teaching here.
Yeah, and we'll go ahead and move on to that. So like you said, you had some background and worked in the welding industry, but then what kind of drew you to teaching, and especially what drew you to Neosho, and now how long have you been here?
Brought me to teaching was traveling's kind of a young man's sport when I had 3 kids and married, and so it was kind of one of those things to be able to be home and spend time with my kids. Always been interested in teaching. I thought it was something I might have been interested in when I was going to school. It was just opportunity arose. Actually, I found out about NCC through a friend, talked to our Dean of Outreach, Brenda Crum, and interviewed with her, and I think this year's my 7th year teaching.
So now that we've gotten to know you a little bit, let's move on to talk about the welding program here at Neosho. Obviously one of the longest running programs here. We've been in a few different locations, and now we're out here at the Mitchell Career and Technology Center in what seems to be hopefully our permanent home for the program. But just kind of give us a little bit of an overview about the program. You know, what does the typical course path look like for students? Are there any prerequisites students need before they can join the program or anything like that?
There's no prerequisites. We go from beginner. We even do have some experienced welders that come in to hone in their skills a little bit more. The way our program's set up, we're really focused on like cutting processes, learning how to use oxy-fuel cutting torch, plasma cutter, learning how to stick weld per D11 structural code. So we do try to teach you how to do code welding. Then we also do GMAW, which is gas metal arc welding. A lot of people here refer to it as MIG welding. We do GTAW, which is also gas tungsten arc welding or TIG welding. So we just try to get you honed in to be able to do this as a career, or even as you can take these courses as a life skill. Learn how to, just for something to learn how to do. If you work on a farm, learning how to weld just to make farm repairs. So we're more career oriented, but yet it don't hurt to have it as a life skill also.
You mentioned that people can take this as a life skill, but the program is more career oriented. So kind of just take us through what certifications or degrees that students might end up with to be able to use that as a career.
We're a 2-year program, so after you complete your first year, you can get a level 1 certificate, and after you complete your second year, you get a level 2 certificate, a welding certificate. I am also a certified welding inspector, a CWI, so you actually have the opportunity not only to leave here with your level 1 and level 2 certificate, you can also leave here as a certified welder. So if you pass a structural test or a bend test, and we bend it, you pass it, I can give you a certify that weld and give you a weld certification.
So one thing that you mentioned in one of the previous questions was the different kind of styles of welding. For those who might not be quite aware of what maybe the differences or similarities between those are, can you give us a kind of basic overview of the different techniques that you guys teach?
Probably your most common welding that everybody's seen is stick welding. That is one of the first ways they've welded in industry. MIG welding, it's a wire feed machine. It actually pushes a wire through a tube. There's a lot more to it, but simple. It creates an arc, and it automatically feeds the wire filler metal into the weld pool, where you're not having to stop and change rods or anything like that. TIG welding, so that is probably one of the toughest techniques toughest welding processes to learn. There's a lot of moving. Your body is moving a lot. You have one hand that's holding your TIG torch, and then you have one hand that has your filler wire. You've got to learn how to use both hands at the same time. One way for some older people to recognize it is kind of like oxy-fuel welding or brazing, where you're using a torch in one hand and filler wire in the other.
You mentioned there that with the different processes, there's maybe some different skills that you need to be able to be proficient in those different processes. Can you maybe take us through some of those skills that you guys teach within the program that are maybe specific to a process or that might be able to be used between all of the processes?
One of the skills is we try to help you recognize what a good weld is and a bad weld looks like on all processes. Learning how to read the arc and your weld puddle as you're welding, when to add more wire, when's too much wire, or when to speed up or slow down. It's kind of really hard to narrow a lot of it down. Really, the more time you spend with your hood down practicing, the better off you're going to be.
So now tell us a little bit about maybe what makes the welding program at Neosho County unique and why students should be encouraged to maybe take our program over another school or maybe take our program instead of going straight into the industry and just learning on the job.
If you go through our program, for one, say you have a person hiring on for a job that has zero welding experience, zero welding school, and you're also applying for the same position, you're going to have more of an opportunity of getting that job because you have prior welding experience. Because with the way how we teach here at Neosho County is you will already know how the weld testing process works and how to read a puddle. It kind of gives you, for a better lack of terms, a leg up on the competition by going here. The facility here at the NCCC, we have 22 welding booths in here. We can have 22 people welding at the same time. You have an instructor that has been out in the field and has done the work, been out there, made a lot of money doing it, and now be able to pass my skills onto a younger generation and sometimes even an older generation. As far as some of the other institutions, some of it comes down to money. It costs a quarter to go to NCCC over some of these other welding institutions, so it's a lot cheaper to come to us also. So, and also when you complete our program, you already have a leg up on the competition by completing our program. That also could help with pay increase as out of starting wage. This guy with no experience may start at $15 an hour, and you come in, already have welding or been through our welding program, you may start at $20 an hour. Just having that little bit of extra experience will help you get started in a career welding.
I know you've mentioned a couple of times now teaching some people that are older than you or even people that aren't necessarily the typical college age. For those who are working already full-time and are looking to maybe add this on as a life skill or even are looking for a career change, what kind of opportunities are there for people who are maybe working full-time? Can they come in the evenings or do we have, shortened classes or, what are the different options?
So if you're not able to make it during the day, if you're working, and some employers will work with students that are in school, some employers will work with them, allow them to come to class. But we also offer a night class. It's taught by Thompson. He actually works at B&W Chanute, or it used to be Chanute Manufacturing. So we do have an instructor. He's a welder also. He welds for them. So he's got the real world experience. So if you can't make it during daytime schedule, we do offer night classes.
Once students graduate from the program and they've got either their level 1 or their level 2 certificate, what kind of career opportunities are there? What kind of industries are students going to end up in? Obviously, most of them are going to be doing a lot of the same things, but what kind of implements or what kind of, projects could they be working on with this welding program?
So with the welding program, I have former students that right now are working on the road welding pipe, and they're making anywhere between $30 to $40 an hour. And then I also have some students that are working some of these local shops. We have several of them here in Chanute, and they're probably making right around $20 an hour. There's opportunities to make good money to do this. We also have industries here where like B&W Chanute, they do a lot of boilermaker stuff, some piping, boiler tube welding, and then we have like Young's Welding, where they're more of a structural fabrication shop, where they might be building trailers or repairing trailers or building the implements for skid steers or something like that. So just right here in Chanute, there's several companies where you can go either way with whether if you want to do pipe or structural welding.
Enrollment for summer and fall classes is now open at Neosho County Community College. Choose from over 40 programs like aircraft sheet metal assembly, nursing, automotive technology, occupational therapy assistant, surgical technology, welding, and many more. Whether you're looking to earn an associate's degree or break into a new career field with a certificate, NCCC offers something for everyone. Email advising@neosho.edu to start your academic journey at Neosho County Community College today. Next up on today's episode, I am joined by a Level 1 welding student from Blue Mound, Kansas, Laurie Campbell. Laurie, how's it going today?
It's pretty good.
So, Laurie, like I mentioned, you're a Level 1 welding student here at Neosho, so you're just about to finish up your first year in the program, but I want to kind of go back in time a little bit and ask you why you decided to come to Neosho, why you picked the welding program specifically, and maybe what kind of expectations did you have coming in?
I chose welding because it was the only thing I was good at in high school, and a couple of my friends had already came to Neosho, and I know they do well, so I decided to give that a shot. I think the only expectation was they had said Johnnie was a good teacher. Like, if you're not getting it, he'll show you a different way to do it, and he's pretty good at being able to, like, mold to what each student needs on how they need to learn it.
All right, let's take a look now at your experience. Like I said, you've been here, this is your first year, and you're kind of coming up on the end of your second semester. So what are some of the things that you've learned in the program that you've enjoyed thus far, and what kind of techniques have you really, like, maybe taken to?
We've done MIG and TIG welding so far. I prefer MIG. It's a lot easier to learn, but TIG is more what you're going to need to learn. MIG is less hot and easier to run. You only need the machine, and TIG you have to have filler rod, which is just you have to use your left hand, and my left hand doesn't like working very well.
And then, like you said, you guys have gone through MIG and TIG, but there's a couple other styles of welding that you guys will be learning as you move into Level 2. So is there anything about either of those styles or anything else that you're hoping to learn in the program next year?
We'll learn stick as well. We just haven't touched on it yet. That one is one I haven't even seen yet, so I don't know what to expect with stick welding, to be honest with you. But I'm excited to learn more TIG, because hopefully as I do it more, it'll be easier for me.
So once you graduate here from Neosho with your certificates in welding and you move into the career field, is there any particular area or industry that you're hoping to work in after graduation?
I'm not sure in specifics yet, but I'm hoping to travel weld because I have 2 boys, so I'd like to be able to take them with me and kind of show them more of the world while I'm working.
So it's great to hear from you and your experience in the program, but once you finish, if somebody comes up to you asking you about the program, are you going to be willing to recommend it to them? And what reasons would you give them to join either welding or any of the career and tech ed programs at Neosho?
I really would. Johnnie's my instructor, and he's super kind and tries to make things easier for everyone. I use the computer lab a lot, so I've also talked with a lot of the other instructors, and everyone is super nice, I wouldn't say concerned, but like, they'll check on you.
Well, Laurie, I really appreciate you joining us here on the Spotlight on Education today to talk about your experiences in the welding program, and hopefully someday somebody will maybe one of your friends will follow you like you followed your friend.
I hope so. Thanks for having me.
Next up on today's episode, I'm joined by a fellow Huntyr, actually. Huntyr Jennings, a Level 2 welding student from Ashland, Missouri. Huntyr, how's it going today?
Going great. Thanks for having me today.
Before we get too far into this, I want to ask you first about how you ended up here at Neosho County. Obviously, being from Missouri, coming to a community college in another state isn't everybody's first choice, but for you, what kind of led you here and led you to becoming a Panther?
What led me to become a Panther was mainly my wrestling career. I wanted to come and continue my wrestling career and go up to the next level, and because I also wanted to weld. In high school, my ag teacher really pushed me to weld, and that's kind of what drove me to come to NCC, and it was the cheaper option for me to start off with. I really love it here, and I think that NCC was the right choice for me for sure, 100%.
Like I mentioned, you're a Level 2 student, and we're getting here to the end of the semester, so you're almost about to graduate and be done with the program. But let's take a look back on some of the things you learned. So tell us a little bit about maybe what was your favorite technique of welding that you guys learned. Was there any kind of skills that you picked up along the way that surprised you or anything like that?
My favorite kind of welding would be probably TIG welding. I had never done that before, and we didn't have stuff like that in high school, and I always thought it was really cool, and Johnnie taught me how to do everything with the TIG stuff. And right now I'm on pipe. Learned how to TIG root a pipe, and I learned how to TIG hot pass a pipe.
Looking ahead to after graduation, which is at this point less than a month away. What are you hoping to do with your career? Is there any specific jobs that you've been looking at that would be really fun or interesting for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Back home, I have a lot of connections to pipeline welders and structure welders down south. They just travel the whole country. Maybe give them a call, or I'll just go on the road and travel around state to state doing tests and seeing if I get the job. And
so it sounds like you're really open to being flexible with your career. Is that kind of one of the reasons you decided to pick welding, was because there was so many options out there across the country?
Yeah, there's a lot of welding opportunity around the country, especially right now. Like the welding trade specifically they're everywhere is just in need of welders, and I just want to go out on the road and make money and continue to weld and help grow the trade of welding.
Being almost finished with the program, you have a good kind of overview of what the program is like if anybody had questions for you. So, if your friends do come up to you asking about the program, are you going to recommend it to them? And what kind of reasons would you give them to join the NCCC welding program, or maybe one of the other career and tech ed programs?
Yes, I would strongly recommend this program. One reason would be the community college itself is a cheaper option, especially if you're straight out of high school. Johnnie is a very good instructor. He helped me a lot. He helped me become the welder I am today, and the overall environment, you get to meet new people. Like I've made so many friends in this class, and I would strongly recommend this program. Yeah.
Well, Hunter, I think that was great to sit down and talk to a student who's been through most of the program and has, like I said, a pretty good outlook on what goes on in the program. So thanks for joining me again today on the Spotlight.
Thanks for having me today. I really enjoyed it.
Have you considered a career in the medical field? Find your future today at Neosho County Community College. Become an expert in diagnostic imaging with our Diagnostic Medical Sonography program, or help improve the quality of life for patients with mental, physical, or emotional impairments through the Occupational Therapy Assistant program. Develop a passion for food service management through our Dietary Manager program, or train to take an integral role in the surgical team through our Surgical Technology program. Whatever you're interested in, Neosho County Community College offers a wide variety of allied health programs, including health information technology, medical assistant, phlebotomy, healthcare coding, and more. Neosho County Community College has campuses in Chanute and Ottawa, with many classes offered online or in the evening. Visit neosho.edu/programs to learn more and find your healthcare career today. Show knows healthcare, show knows success. We sit down to highlight the welding program here at Neosho County as we just finished up last week the 15th annual Stick Welding Invitational out here at the Mitchell Career and Technology Center. Had just shy of, 90 students here from 7 different high schools and community colleges. It was a great turnout, a lot of people here doing some great welding, but just kind of walk us through what that event is all about and what students do during that day and why we like to bring in those both college students from other community colleges as well as the high school students from the area.
Well, like any competition, is to test your skills, see where your skill level is compared to other people. And like our competition, we had right around 90 to 100 contestants, and it's a good day. We had probably close to $8,000 or $9,000 worth of prizes to give away. Anything from welding hoods, gloves, all kinds of stuff. We had vendors here for a career fair. Students were able to seek out some of these job opportunities. We get fed good, and we just have a lot of fun doing it.
You talk about testing their skills. So how was that done during the competition? Obviously they're going to do some welding, but when they look at that weld, what are maybe some of the characteristics they're looking at? Was there anything else that they did to test their skills in competition?
So as far as the hands-on welding, we do have 2 judges, and they have to be able to read a blueprint and read welding symbols and make sure they have the welds in the proper place, make sure the welds reading the print correctly and the measurements are correct on the placement of parts that are on the weldment. They also have to take a general knowledge written exam. Some of the questions are over blueprint reading. Some of the questions are over weld symbol, being able to read weld symbols. And some of them are just general stick welding questions of what polarity you run your machine on, or how you set your machine up for stick welding. So with combined hands-on part and combined testing part, that's how we determine who the winners are. Whoever has the highest scores wins.
Well, Johnny, I really appreciate you coming on the Spotlight on Education today to talk about the welding program. We're very proud of this program here at Neosho. Like I said, it's one of our longest running programs, and I think that the reputation has somewhat preceded as we've drawn in some students from all over, and it's really nice to see. But I'd like to thank you again for stopping in and talk about it today.
Well, thank you for having me. And then if you want more information on the programs, not only welding, but some of the other programs we offer out here at the NCTC, you can always stop by the outreach office to get information for that. They're in the student union. It's kind of across from the bookstore. Or if you want to, you can always drop by out here at the MCTC and just check it out. Ask any questions. We'll try to answer any question you have.
Joining me next on today's episode is a junior from Bluestem High School, one of the two students that tied for first in the high school division of the Welding Invitational. I'm joined today by Kaden Keil. Kaden, if you could maybe explain this competition to somebody who's maybe taken part in some athletic competitions or something like that, and kind of compare that to what goes on in the welding competition like we had today.
It surpassed my expectations. I didn't think it'd be as well organized as it was. It was very quick on getting people in and through and keeping everything on track. I liked how organized everybody was in groups and everything. It's very similar. There's like the stress and the nerves in it. Wrestling, there's the nerves right before you get on the mat because I'm a wrestler. With here, it's right before you start welding. There's the nerves of like, am I going to do good? How is everything going to strike? I'm not used to this welder. Like, there's all the scenarios going through your head, and you just have to be confident and know your skills. Kind of do some breathing, like understand how your body works and calm down.
And then Kaden, kind of tell us a little bit about why you got into the world of welding and how you ended up here at the welding competition today.
I grew up like in the farming and ranching side, so I did a lot of welding on tractors and trucks, and I've always been interested in farming and ranching and welding. So I'm going to take that welding passion and be a mobile diesel tech for equipment. So welding will benefit me. I'll be able to weld on semis, tractors, trucks if they need it.
Joining me next on the show is the other part of that first place tie in the high school division of the competition is Mason Brenton, a senior from Bluestem High School. Brenton actually won the high school division last year in the 14th annual stick welding competition, so it's kind of nice to have him on the show today to talk about his experience throughout multiple years of coming to the competition. So Mason, just to get started, tell us a little bit about what the change was like going from your first competition now to today.
So self-improvement coming here. I mean, first ever competition was here, and heck, I dang stuck it to the table, and they had to give me a new piece of metal next year, come around, win it, come again, tied for first place. And I would say every year they've improved the time efficiency in between getting kids in, getting kids out.
Mason, if you could just explain to us a little bit about why you got into the world of welding and why you decided that you wanted to make a career out of this.
First of all, it's relaxing to me. I've always liked hands-on work, so I just started my sophomore year going to welding class, and our advisor, Mr. Gwynn, really helped us. I mean, I went from barely being able to strike an arc, and heck, I'm over here winning competitions now, so definitely a good trade. Anybody could get into it that wants to work hard and see improvement in themselves.
Finally, on today's episode, I'm joined by our first place finisher in the college division of the welding competition, a senior from Yates Center, Kansas, who takes classes through Neosho County at the Regional Rural Technical Center in La Harpe, Quintin Thompson. Quintin, thanks for joining us today. What was kind of your experience at the competition today?
Expecting it to be a little bit bigger, a little bit of chaos, but went smooth, very well organized, and just relaxing throughout the day.
And then Quintin, if you could tell us a little bit about why you got involved in the world of welding and how you ended up at the competition here.
My dad was a welder, hoping to follow suit and be a pipeline welder.
Students in the welding competition were judged on their physical weld that they put together based on the reading blueprints and things like that, but they were also tested on a number of skills and questions on a written exam. These scores were then averaged out to find our individual scores, and then each individual score was averaged out for a team score. In the high school division, Bluestem came away victorious with 57.07 average score, followed by Fort Scott High School with a 51.86. Ottawa had a 48.5. Then came Humboldt with 39.42. Baldwin High School was next, 38.58. Cherryvale, 37.9. Lebec County, 37.36. And the Chanute High School level team finished with an average score of 24.5. On the college side of things, the NCCC Ottawa team finished first overall with an average of 81.08. The NCCC La Harpe team finished second with an average of 68.14, and the Chanute High School college level team finished with an average of 67. The NCCC Chanute team finished with a 66.29, followed by the Ottawa High School college level students 61.75, Cherryvale High School with a 61.5, Kansas City, Kansas Community College came next with a 58.4, the NCCC Garnett students came in next with a 57.07, followed by Fort Scott Community College 44.6, and then rounding out the college level scores was Baldwin High School with a 42.5. The top 3 individual finishers and the top team in each division were awarded plenty of gear. Like Johnnie mentioned, there was plenty of brand new welding helmets, welding gloves, posters for students to put up in their lab that have all welding symbols and different things like that, as well as plenty of gear like hats and shirts from Neosho County and the various vendors and sponsors that help support this event each year. That concludes this week's episode of the Continued Spotlight on Education presented by Neosho County Community College. My name is Hunter Schwegman, and I'd like to thank you all again for tuning in today. Don't forget to come back next week as we highlight another amazing aspect of Neosho County Community College, and visit neosho.edu for more information and to enroll at NCCC. Go Show!